Missouri. So it's great to meet you. Thank you for
Oh,
taking a minute
sweet.
out. Yeah, yeah,
You're very welcome.
yeah. So let's begin. Your journey's fascinating. I love it, and I want to get in to everything. But to begin with, I want to know 5 years ago, this pandemic was raging, changing so many things for all of us. How did you get through the pandemic of 2020, and how has it radiated into your world today?
Well, the pandemic actually wasn't bad for me, to tell you the truth, because I'm home pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, unless I have a doctor appointment.
Yeah.
So, um, I was actually doing Zoom meetings with my MS doctors in Rochester, New York, and we were doing Zoom meetings way before COVID even hit
Okay.
because so we were testing out this whole system. So when COVID hit, I was just home. My mom kind of stayed home and stuff. And, the first time she was washing the groceries and stuff like everybody was doing. But I never had gotten COVID and I didn't really have to worry about it. It was kind of made for me, to tell you the truth. And
Yeah.
then after COVID, like now you're able to Zoom with people. People want to do like video stuff and want to connect that way. And it actually has opened up like a whole new world for me, to tell you the truth.
I imagine so. So let's get into your world from being a touring rapper to an MS warrior. I want to do this. I want to put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds right now. It's career day, and the kid in the back of the room is like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer him?
I would answer them and I would say that I used to be a touring rapper, go around the country with, a bunch of people and perform for people and, try and make money that way and sell my music through distribution platforms now. And now it's like Spotify and Apple Music and things like that. And then unfortunately, I got hit with the disease called MS. And what MS is it attacks your nerves. It is called myelin that's in your body that's around your nerves. It's protecting your nerves. It's this stuff called the myelin sheath. And MS attacks that. And what it does is it's like a frayed wire. You can't use a frayed wire really well. It goes like in and out, it's misfiring. That's kind of what my nerves do. So right now I'm in a wheelchair because my MS progressed. And unfortunately, I didn't get it on the drugs that they had to prescribe me fast enough. So, but I'm like in remission and I'm like good and everything else is good, and that's how I live life right now.
So, what did you want to be when you were a kid? Take me back to where you were born and raised, and what was it always music?
Yeah, man. Always music. I always wanted to be a musician. It was like I can remember like there's this picture of me and my brother. We got these two little microphones and stuff. I actually put it in my book. And and we got these microphones. We had to be like 3 and 4 years old. I'm the older one. So it's just so weird that it kind of came true. Unfortunately, not really like the big fame and fortune,
Yeah.
but I was able to, do what I did and get out there. And I've been doing it for over 20 years. So, I mean, it's pretty crazy.
So take me back to your beginnings. What were the seeds that were planted that have allowed you to be a musician and at this point to be an advocate to help people with MS, to have that
Okay.
mouthpiece?
Sure. Well, when I was, growing up with music and stuff, Green Day was actually my very first favorite band. And I'm still a Green Day fan, still been a Green Day fan. I will always be a Green Day fan till the day that I die. And that is what gave me the inspiration. Billy Joe Armstrong showed me how to be a showman and how to write lyrics and how to, just control a crowd. And then what was the other part? To be an MS champion of.
Yeah, to have the strength to be an advocate, because sometimes I would imagine this can get pretty dark, and you have been actually very open with writing your book and with the way you are of helping and being an advocate.
Right, right. Well, I that's why I wrote the book, really. I wrote it because I really wanted to show people what what a normal person's life looked like before and after MS, I guess. And then like during, because that's like kind of like how I made the book. It just kind of came out that way. So the dark moments are really dark. I mean, it's bad. Dude, I pee on myself sometimes. I poop myself. It's like it's bad, and I get upset. I cry. But I get through it. I kind of look at the funny stuff of it, and that's kind of what I do to get by.
So, who has been that hero? Who's been that inspiration that's allowed you to evolve and to be who you are today?
My mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom definitely. She's always been there for everything. And she just has always given me support and everything. When I was born, she always told me we had an instant connection. And that's like for real. Nothing that I can say about that. It is like she's the strongest woman I know.
So, talk to me a little bit about, everyone out there, there's all kinds of inspiring stories of overcoming and going through things and big hurdles. Michael J. Fox, and there's others that are kind of public examples. If you could meet one of those individuals that's been an inspiration to you, that's fueled you, whether it's a musician or otherwise, is there someone out there you would love to meet and talk to?
Somebody that I'd love to meet and talk to. Let's see. S- Um, I would love to sit down and have a conversation with Green Day, actually.
Yeah.
There's some of the people that I've never met before, and I've learned so much from that band, and I just love to have a talk with either them or Billy Joe Armstrong. And I think that, we would have a good connection.
There's a viral clip that's out there, and I'm sure you've seen it. They were in high school playing in a courtyard. I think they were probably in California. It was very sunshiny and it had that vibe. And they were just in high school playing to a bunch of people, and everybody was walking by. Very few people were watching, and
Yep.
it's so weird, the beginnings of some of these big, huge acts that, just start like that, just a bunch of dudes
Yeah.
that were dreaming and it worked out.
That's exactly how it is. Sometimes you're just playing in high school and then you start playing in stadiums.
That's
It's
it.
crazy.
I remember when
Yeah.
John Mayer made it big. He was on 60 Minutes or Nightline, and at one point he said, "I used to dream about filling stadiums." And he said, "Now that I do it, I dream of being back in my bedroom again."
Funny.
You know what I'm
Funny.
saying? It's
Yeah.
just it happens. Um,
Yeah.
so let me ask you this. What is it that gets you up every day, that motivates you, that allows you to get on podcasts, to help people feel inspiration, to pursue and talk about music and loving music? What is that for you?
The thing that gets me is definitely music. That is what drives me to get out of bed in the morning. I don't know what I would do without that in my life. I've thought about it every day for the last 25 years, never gotten it out of my mind. That is all I think about 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm trying to think about how I can get people to listen to me, to find out about me and the music that I do and what everything is all about, you know?
Yeah.
And I try not to let stuff get me down. I really try not to, even when it's hard. I really try.
Talk to me about your book.
Well, the book, I actually just wrote it probably about a month ago. And it is about my whole trials and tribulations throughout my life, dealing with the underground music industry, dealing with MS, going from just like a normal person to somebody that's now living in a wheelchair 24 hours a day with 24-hour care. So it is just like kind of a journey, It shows my, my some of my young life and then into my music career and how I've gone on the road with this group called Project Born, and we went around the country and did that. I talk about the small shows that we would have and things things of that nature. And then getting struck down, I had a pulmonary embolism that, I had a blood clot in my leg that turned into a blood clot in my lungs. So, and then shortly after I get diagnosed with MS. So it was like a double whammy.
Wow.
And yeah, and then I go through all of that, and then kind of like here I am. I talk about starting a new business up with my father. Me and my father kind of had a tumultuous relationship throughout our life, and we've years ago we kind of made up and everything, and just now we're working on a business together, and it's pretty cool.
So was this book cathartic for you? Was it hard to relive all of those memories, but ultimately at the end of it, does it feel like there's a level of redemption? There's something that you can help people and shed light?
Yeah, there are definitely moments when I was writing, like I'd break down on some stuff, I was really getting deep into stuff and I never really thought about it a certain way before because they're memories that you don't really think about all the time. And then, you bring them up and you're like, oh man, this is crazy.
So talk to me about the first concert you went to that blew you away, that made you think, I want to be up there one day.
It's funny, it was Green Day.
Okay,
It had
I
to
was
be
thinking,
Yeah, it was Green Day. It had to be 1998, maybe. And it was in Rochester at the Dome Arena. And it's funny, I talk about it in the book. And Billy Joe actually pointed up to us because we were sitting down in the stands. My dad wouldn't let us go into the crowd. And he pointed us like, what the hell are you? Well, a little bit more colorful
yeah.
language, but what the hell are you guys doing up there? Get down here. And we were just like, what is going on right now? And it's just some crazy moment. Like I don't even know how I remember that, but it's just stuck in my mind.
What was one of the most electric, magical times that you performed on stage? One of your best shows, best moments?
Ooh, one of the coolest ones. Are you familiar with the Insane Clown Posse at
Yeah.
all?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. So I performed at an after party for them for their annual Hallowicked show that they
Oh,
do on
wow.
Halloween.
Yeah.
I performed with Project Born and I was in the middle of their JCW wrestling ring and I performed a song in there and it was absolutely
Oh,
electric.
I can imagine
I
for Halloween. That's
Yeah,
wow. That's
yeah,
wild.
definitely electric. Yeah.
So, of everything that you've done and evolved to and become, what are you the proudest of?
Just being able to stay true to myself. I've never really like sold out to anything. I've always done things on my terms, not one to go with the flow. I kind of go against the grain.
Yeah. So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into that version of you that's a musician before the MS diagnosis, and you could give that version of you a piece of advice based on this life you've lived, everything you've gone through, all the wisdom you've accumulated. What advice would you impart on that young version of you?
Mm. I think I'd say to definitely keep going. Definitely watch out for certain snakes that are in the music business that are trying to just take you for your money. There are a lot of them,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of money that you waste on stupid talent schemes and things of that nature. And that's what was big when I was going around is that they would have, talent ads and things of that nature in music magazines and like, oh, send us your song and we'll get you to these record labels. And I definitely stay away from those things and just keep pushing, and you'll have a fun time.
So let me ask you this, especially after your diagnosis, you probably get a lot of people that try to give comforting words or advice. What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Stay positive.
Yeah.
That was actually from my mom. She's like, you need to look more positively at this stuff. Not like that, like fake positivity crap that those gurus try and tell you to do and all that, but like look more positively at life. Like, I'm going to get through this day and look at things one day at a time.
So at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, everyone that knows you as a musician, everyone that reads your book, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I think I'm just me. I am I am an outspoken rapper. That's kind of how I look at myself. And I think that's how I am with everything. Like I wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it with music. And I've turned myself into like a brand. And I just wanna bring it to as many people as I possibly can.
So if anyone wants to pick up a copy of the book, they want to listen to your music, they want to reach out, they have questions, any of the good business, where do they go?
They can go to two websites. My main website, b-cide.com. And then the book website is myelinmyshoes.com. MYELIN myshoes.com. And it's available on Amazon. You can just search Myelin My Shoes and it comes up.
Right on. Robert, this has been wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's such an inspirational story. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate the time, man. It's been a really good interview. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Looking to get new clients to your business through cold calling or email marketing? At Agency Y, they envision a world in which small and big companies have equal chances to win new customers in the market. Their purpose is to bring parity and reduce the gap between large and small firms with the help of their cold calling and cold email marketing services. Use the code Joe Dimino 10 at www.agencyyy.org/coldcallingjoe.php or www.agencyyyy.org/emailmarketingjoe.php to get 10% off your first order. This is Joe Dimino of Neon Jazz and Famous Interviews, and I stand behind Agency Y to meet your business dreams.